What's the like genre or mood of that music that's coming out?
So, I don't really know. Like, I kind of
Okay.
the demo itself. So the demo is just me, a guitar, and it almost has like that Mazzy Star feeling, like that Fade Into You song.
Mm-hmm.
Um, very relaxed.
Yeah.
But then we put some like amazing guitar on there, some like organ. I don't really know. It's very organic. Like it's guitars only, bass, organ, me singing, and then we'll have a little bit of drums in the back. Obviously, like very retro vibes, like 70s. Um, I can't really think of. I'm. It's hard for me because like I want to be like, oh, it's like rock, but it's kind of blues. But it's kind of like it has like a soul thing happening. So
Mm.
that in that kind of realm.
Yeah. What do you find yourself writing about, I guess, during quarantine and just in general? Like, well, I guess I should ask, have you always written music? And then, like, I guess, what do you like to write about or draw inspiration from?
Yeah. Um, I think, initially all of my songs were kind of about like heartbreak or first loves or
Mm.
something like that, very like typical. Which I just like writing about. I love not it's not like my only thing I write about, but I love writing about, personal experiences, things that have happened to me, things that have changed me, things that have like, made a mark on my life. But then sometimes I write songs about like how rock and roll is coming back and like, not to quote The Darkness, but they have a song called Rock and Roll Deserves to Die or something, and it's like a, ironic thing. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. And I write songs about that. And then
Mm.
no, just very personal things that happen to me. I just want to make like I want to I want my songs to make people feel the same way that songs make me feel, where I hear a lyric and I'm like, oh my God, like I know exactly what that feels like, or the way that they sing it. And I'm sure, yeah, I know you relate, you hear a song and you're like, oh my God, like how did they put it into words? Or, oh,
Yeah, it's like Shakespeare. No, I mean, yeah, I always think I love music that makes me want to write about something like an experience or makes me want to write a song. Like I'm at a show and it's just this like college, like I've been at basement shows where I've literally had to walk to the back of the room just to write something down, like not even for a song, but just like, oh, okay, that makes me think of this whole thing. And it's cool though. I think like you also seeing that rock and roll is making a comeback and then being able to like further that and jump into the music scene at this time is it's almost like perfect alignment that like. And I think too in the universe, I mean it can't be just a coincidence that like Harry Styles has a band and he's all about that now, and Miley is doing that, and they're mainstream artists that it's like, what are the odds, that everyone's kind of leaning towards rock, everyone's leaning towards glam. I mean, everyone wants to dress up like we've all been locked in, like bright colors, everything. It's just going to be so important. I think when we get back out there, even in these small steps that like people are expressing themselves and there is that like rock and roll spirit. So the fact that this is all like happening and I feel like it's rumbling and even in like the younger generations, I think they get it, like not necessarily that they listen to Bowie, but they're wearing the Bowie t-shirts. And it's like, that's all we really need is that free advertisement of that music. I mean, I don't know like what your take is on people who wear t-shirts and then they can't name the 3 songs, but like, you know what I mean? I mean, that's, I think it's cool that that's like still being, sold to the younger generation. But anyway,
yeah, I
I
think wear
digress.
whatever shirt you want. If
Yeah.
someone, okay, I've had that happen to me, and then I'm like, they're like, name 3 Zeppelin songs. I'm like, I sang 3 Zeppelin songs in my last show. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
you're like handing out like a flyer. You're like, all right,
sure.
see you tonight.
But there's just when you were just saying that, like, it almost feels like this, like, the quarantine. I know everyone's talking about like 1918, the flu that happened then, and then the 20s were the roaring 20s and everyone was like dressing up and free and crazy and like imagine. I'm like, glam rock has to be coming back because hello, like what do you think our next few years is going to be like whenever, COVID is over? I feel like everyone's just going to be like, can't wait to dress up and be free and be like whatever I'm going to be and just
I
do
know.
whatever I want to do. And that's perfect for like, think everyone's going to live like that way.
Oh, I know, like, I think maybe we talked about this like briefly, but vintage clothes and taking on that glam style is, I've seen like you do it, on Instagram and stuff. Like, okay, I've seen you do a bunch of photo shoots too. Like, how do you come up with, I mean, I have so many questions because I've been getting into vintage clothing and like shopping, and just that whole world is actually, it's just so exciting to know, like, how do I explain this? I've never been materialistic, but this is the first time that I've been like this obsessed with just clothes and the whole world of that style. So, okay. So how do you come up with your photo shoot ideas? Like, what is the process of putting those together? And yeah, like, just talk me through that.
Yeah. So it usually, it sometimes depends. So like I've had photographers reach out to me and be like, they'll send me something I posted and they'll be like, hey, I want to do a shoot that kind of looks like this. And I'm like, great. So do you want it to be 60s, 70s, 80s? You want it to be whatever, like a combination. And then I usually do, I do my makeup, my hair, I bring my clothes. And then I'm thinking of one shoot where I'm like, there's one where I'm like on my hands and knees and there's a mouth behind me. So that shoot with my friend Shane, I brought like 20 outfits just to be safe because I was like, I don't know what exactly look we're kind of going for. But I just brought like all of my platform shoes, flared pants, shirts, just whatever I could bring. And then I brought like some 60s stuff just to mix it up. Usually I just like, I have an outfit in mind and then I go from there with a shoot. I just kind of show up and I'm like, okay, this is my outfit. And then we just recently did a projection one where I was looking at like trippy things on Pinterest. And I was like, well, maybe we could do something different, a new pose that I haven't done. I try to do different poses, something that looks a little like weird with my body or something.
Do you have to practice? Or you're pretty like, because you did dances. I mean, I guess it depends how well connected you are with your body to know if like, okay, this is going to look weird or it's going to look like what I saw on Pinterest.
Look like most of it looks weird. We definitely find like a good photo in there, but I'm like, hey, just a heads up, like I'm probably gonna look weird in 99% of the photos. Like that's just because I make weird faces, change my facial expression all the time. And then like me trying to figure out a weird position, I'm like, this is gonna look weird, but I think maybe we'll get something good out of it. You just gotta try weird things with your photo shoots. But
Yeah.
yeah, usually just like find an outfit, then I plan a shoot around that.
What's the best thing that or maybe some of the best things you've thrifted in your life or in quarantine? Like, have you found any band tees that you think are like magical? Like, I'm thinking of that movie for some reason. Is it Like Mike, where he finds the like sneakers that make him like
Yeah.
play basketball really well? Or obviously like what's the one with Jack Black and the magical pick where he like, never mind. But basically, have you found like, have you found any pieces that you're like, wow, whoever had this, before me was like
Yeah, I have
special?
I have these two dresses that are very mod. One has like some writing on it, and then the other is just like a green. They're very 60s, and as soon as I got them, I was like, wow, like I feel like someone wore these to like some amazing parties back in the day. I was like, ooh, like I feel so, I don't know, I can't really explain it, it's just like I just feel cool in these dresses. And
Yeah.
and I also got this that show The Nanny that I saw you watching on your story the other day. Like
Are you
everyone
kidding?
wants. I found a shirt that says The Nanny on it, like at Crossroads, and it's like when I was in line for it, a couple girls were like, "Are you buying that? Like, are you gonna buy that?" And I was like, "I am absolutely buying this, like, because they wanted it. I love that shirt. I found that a couple weeks ago in quarantine."
That's amazing. I feel like maybe I saw that, but it's funny because I started watching that show a few weeks ago with Sam, like every single night. Like I've literally turned into my parents, but basically like that show has carried me through these like the second lockdown. So it's been good, and I've like gotten so in, like I've been watching like interviews of all the cast members. I like get way too into stuff when I get into it because it's not that often that I'm like hooked on a show. So anyway.
What are you watching it on? Because I was trying to look for that the other day.
Oh, believe me, there's like a million pop-ups on the site.
Oh, okay.
Like one of those, yeah. And it's not great quality. You're probably better off just like buying the like box set or like on, I don't know where they sell it, but
just like email Netflix and be like, hey Netflix, like it's really imperative that you put The Nanny on your streaming service. Thank you so much. It would save 2020, so we would appreciate that.
Yeah, it's such a good, I like it because, you know, I grew up in like that, not in New York, but you know, it was like New Jersey, and my family, like the women in my family are, you know, her, like Fran and her mom, and you know, you see that, and it's not that often that you can really like, okay, resonate with these crazy characters in like a more subtle way, but still very similar to my grandma and mom and stuff. So yeah. So you're in LA now. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty incredible. Like, so you grew up kind of near LA, and do you think you'll stay in LA through your music? I mean, I guess the other options are like Nashville and New York, but
I just honestly, I love both of those places. Nashville's amazing, New York obviously amazing, and I'd love to go to those places as much as possible, but I will always love LA. And also, again, after living in Idaho for a year, I know that I cannot handle the cold weather. It's just not gonna work for me. Like I basically get immediate sick. Like when I go to the cold, I'm like, nope, my body's like, go back. So, you know, it's December 21st and it's 80 degrees outside. Like LA is superior.
Yeah. I think it's like I miss the nostalgia of running around in the snow or like being stuck in because of the snow. But at the end of the day, like I did get sick all winter my whole life. Like I would definitely be out of school twice a year, like just for whatever. Like, so it's not really worth getting sick. But yeah.
I understand for the holidays, you want it to be snowy and
yeah.
I'd never had that, so I don't miss that or think about that.
Yeah, no, for sure. But okay, so just to kind of close out the interview so do you have any dates for the music coming up? Like what can people expect? Where can they follow you and kind of keep up with Simone Rose?
I don't have any specific dates for the songs. I'm hoping within the next few weeks. I will be posting it on social media. Absolutely. Please check it out. Yeah, my Instagram is Simone Comes Alive. I have a TikTok too, but it's kind of embarrassing. I just post like whatever. And so if you guys want to see that, sure. But I will be putting my songs out Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, the works. I'm maybe a music video with it too, just because it's my first, like might as well go big. Yeah, so hopefully within the next few weeks.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I feel like this is so formal for it's like his whole thing, but hopefully I'll get to see you play live in the new year, and you know, we'll be around the Sunset Strip and all that stuff, and
we can chat more about vintage clothing. I will send you everything on like Depop or whatever.